Good afternoon, everybody. Come on in, have a seat, and welcome once again to another presentation of those thrilling days of yesteryear, a recreation of your favorite shows from the golden age of radio, and we have a special holiday treat for all of you. Is everybody in the holiday mood today? Yeah. I'm seeing lots of red and green and all that, so we're going to add a lot of holiday cheer because today the holidays are upon us, and of course our thoughts turn to presents and singing and family and friends, and of course lots and lots of eating. But we also take that time to remember all of our fond loved ones and our friends and family that can't be with us, and we celebrate those times as well. And especially those who are in our armed forces, who are stationed overseas and fighting our battles and keeping our country and our world safe. They're doing the best that they can, and they can always use all the love and support that they get. So today, we would love for you all and all of us to take a moment at some point today and really give thanks and appreciation to all of our fighting forces who are fighting overseas. And it's been like that for years. In fact, even in the 40s, during the Second World War, everyone stateside did their part to support the troops. We created care packages and sent them overseas. We sent letters. We rationed food and rubber and gas and steel. And we even gave up important things like chocolate and nylon stockings. Important things, and cigarettes, yes. And while we were doing our part, many of our favorite stars did their part to keep morale high. In fact, once a week, musicians and singers would share their favorite songs. Popular radio celebrities performed their classic sketches. And movie stars appeared just to say hello to the boys and perhaps even show one of their own special talents. All in a special command performance designed to entertain and remind our soldiers of their loved ones back home. Now, command performance ran from 1942 to 1949 and was very unique in many ways. It had no main host or character, but rather the celebrities that were available rotated around, each one taking turns as master or mistress of ceremonies. Another thing that made this program quite unique was that it was part of the AFRS, the Armed Forces Radio System, and all shows were broadcast directly overseas to the troops, which means that everyone in the States missed out on some classic events, like Lou Costello going completely off script when they were reviving their classic Who's On First routine. And in fact, also the folks stateside wouldn't get to hear classic moments like Lana Turner sizzling a steak in a fry pan, and Errol Flynn taking a shower for the girls. Now, those shows, of course, those shows were very quickly put together and very informal. Many times the stars would end up ad-libbing and stumbling over their scripts, as I apparently just did. So today we thought we would spread a little of our own Christmas cheer through the radio and do our part to celebrate the men and women who are fighting overseas today by recognizing what efforts were done for the men and women who fought in the past. And we've gathered some of the best of Christmas editions of Command Performance. And we will do our best now to recreate what it might have been like to be one of those young men and women stationed overseas. And remember, these specific routines were never actually heard stateside. So you actually will be the first people in this country to enjoy stars like Bing Crosby, Gene Autry, the Andrews Sisters, Jerry Colonna, Groucho Marx, Dinah Shore, Francis Langford, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, and many more, all on the same program. And they gather all to wish us all a Merry Christmas in their own unique way. And of course, we're going to do our best to recreate all the sound effects, the music, and all the wonderful moments just as they happen, word for word, sound effects, music, and all. So, you might want to imagine that you are one of those lucky men and women who got to enjoy watching their favorite performers do their thing in the live studio audience. Or, you might just imagine that you are sitting back in your old living room in front of the old Philco radio, anxiously awaiting for the set to heat up so you can hear your favorite performers do their thing. Either way, join us as we take you now to our special holiday edition of those thrilling days of yesteryear.
Command Performance USA you find icicles hanging below the eaves, gay presents waiting below the tree, and your Aunt Hepzibah waiting below the mistletoe. Yes, the hall is heaped with pretty packages for you. And here comes one of the prettiest packages now. The contents are delectable, and there's certainly nothing wrong with the wrapper. It's the lovely star of Letter to Three Wives, the gal who plays Maisie, Ann Southern.
Yeah.
Look, Ann, after the shindig, you must come up to my place for a drink. Would you do that? I got some wonderful liquor. I'm serving Tom's.
Ken, you mean Tom and Jerry's?
No, just Tom's. I couldn't find out where Jerry hides his liquor. And look, I'll play Santa Claus. I'll let you sit on my knee.
Gee, do you think I can stand it?
Oh, now, how about it, Ann? Is it a deal? Will you come over and sit on my knee?
No thanks, lover boy.
Now, wait. You're not afraid of fatherly old Santa Claus, are you?
Ken, it's not the Santa that scares me, but you've got the wrong kind of claws.
Okay. All right, Ann, what's the first item of business on the show?
Well, you said you've got lots of goodies for the gang, and in charge of ripping off the wrappers, untangling the tinsel, and popping the corn is a famous fellow that some people know as Edmund Webb.
Yes, but we know the truth, don't we? He gave himself away in a documentary movie called Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes, he's really that jolly gentleman, His Royal Highness, His Eminence, Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Santa Claus, how has everything been going for you this year?
Oh, it's been tough sledding, Anne.
Tough sledding? How come?
Why, no snow. Now, are you folks having a good Christmas?
Well, Santa, I must say, I got some pretty strange gifts.
Oh?
Yes, Bing Crosby got me a toupee curler, and I haven't got a toupee. Michelle Ferre here got me a mustache cup, and I haven't got a mustache. My wife got me a cane-bottom chair. Well, thank goodness I've got a pillow.
Tell me, Santa,
Yes?
did you have a hard time deciding what to give the Hollywood movie stars this year?
Well, Anne, I think I took care of them rather well.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Sidney Greenstreet just what he's always wanted, a full-width mirror.
Oh,
And Jack Benny, Jack Benny asked me for some pocket money, so I dropped by the First, Second, and Third National Banks.
and what did you give Jack?
Nothing. I found out he already owned the First, Second, and Third National Banks. I gave little Margaret O'Brien a cute set of blocks to play with.
No?
Yes, you're quite right, my dear, quite right. A cute set of blocks.
Mm-hmm.
On Wilshire, from La Brea to Downey.
Now that was very sweet. Hey, what say we start looking into these packages addressed to the gang?
Very well, Anne. When we have so many attractive packages, it's hard to know where to begin. For instance, here. Now, here's a great big grab bag addressed to all the gang at the Caribbean Command. Let's see what happens when I pull the string.
I'm back in the saddle again. Out there a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lonely gypsum's weed. I'm back in the saddle again. Howdy folks, this is Gene Autry, and a real Merry Christmas to everybody. Yes sir, there's something about the Christmas season that just seems to bring people closer together. And there's a lot of things that make this wonderful, wonderful day what it is. Trees, the holly, the mistletoe, and old Santa Claus himself. But the greatest of these things is the friendship. I'd like to bring out a friend of mine. He's everybody's all-around favorite, and just about the greatest singer in the country today.
Frankie Lane couldn't make it, Chief.
Oh, well, it's really great having you with us, Bing, anyhow.
Oh, I guess it's better than an empty chair. Say, Gene, aren't we being a little informal, a little casual with such an auspicious occasion? We should eschew nicknames and address each other by our full given names.
All right, that's all right with me, Bing. What's yours?
Harry Lilith Crosby.
Oh,
What's yours?
Orwin Eugene Autry.
Hi, Gene.
Hi, Bing. Well, how's Christmas with you?
Oh, big, big. Always have a quite little shindig, though, over at the house. My friend Everett, my brother Everett, he plays Santa Claus. He has a knack for it, you know.
Oh, your brother Everett, he has a knack for playing Santa Claus?
Oh, yes. Been putting it in the sock for years.
Well, look, we better get back down to business here now and get this big epic rolling.
So why don't you start off the Parade of Stars, Gene, by getting together with the Andrews Sisters. I'm sure everybody's waiting to hear you sing the song that sold over 1 million records for you. Here Comes Santa Claus.
Well, Bing, I kind of thought maybe you'd sing first.
Oh, no you don't. You've got your guitar on your back, you're ready to go.
Oh, okay. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So jump in bed and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Here comes Santa Claus, down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that is filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle, jingle, what a beautiful sight. Jump in bed, cover up your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
You're next, Bingo.
Oh, I'm ready. This is your song. This may kill it. Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He'll come around when chimes ring out that it's Christmas morn again. Peace on earth, come to all, if we just follow the line. So let's give thanks to the Lord above, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is happy and bright. Hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Say, gang, you know all during this past year of command performance, we've been answering your commands for sounds of life here at home. You've asked us for crazy sounds, farm sounds, city sounds, and anything that seemed to spell home to you. Lots of you have asked us to repeat them, so tonight we're going to do just that in a kind of a one-act play. Now, just imagine that a guy named Private Joe Goose is sitting up there at a lonely outpost on the Arctic Circle. He gets to dreaming of his hometown, San Francisco, the Golden Gate, and that symphony of foghorns booming across the bay. You know, Joe used to travel a lot, and he got to love trains. One thing he especially liked was that long, drawn-out whistle of the 20th Century Limited as she highballs it through the countryside. And old Joe kind of got around, too. He made all the joints. The Rainbow Room in Rockefeller Center, the Stevens in Chicago, the Brown Derby in Hollywood, Elmer Snodgrass's biggest beer for a dime joint in most any town. And sitting up there on the rim of the Arctic Circle, Joe says, boy, would I go for the barkeep mixing up a long, tall bourbon and soda. And no Mickey either. And one day, Joe gets a letter saying that baby Joe Jr. has arrived. That the baby weighs 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and is a swell little guy. And Joe would give anything just to hear the sound of that kid's voice. Especially, he'd like to hear him crying. And Joe thinks, hey, wouldn't it be nice for the baby to have little Johnny, that black little Cocker Spaniel, for company? And what about Johnny? Wouldn't it be good to hear that little dog bark again? gets Joe to thinking of when he was a little kid. How he'd spend the summer up in the hills of Colorado, and he'd lean against the stall in the cow barn while his Uncle Gus milked the cows. Ah, that was pretty music. Those two streams of milk hitting the bottom of that tin milk pail. Get any on you, bud? Ah, yes. And Joe's mind wandered back to the present, and he wondered about Market Street in San Francisco. The Christmas lights on every lamppost, from the ferry building out to the Market Street tunnel. For sure there'd be a Santa Claus every few feet. Fat ones and skinny ones, standing beside little buckets with the wire gratings over them.
Help the needy, help the poor, help the needy, help the poor.
Now, Santa, what's that you have looking up in that microphone?
This is a package addressed to the guys and gals at Castle Point, and the Birmingham General, and all the listeners that are on the bedside nest. And in it, we find a great visitor, a grand guy, marvelous wit, reggae raconteur, he's the salt of the earth.
Ah, you're only saying that because it's true.
Jerry Colonna. Colonna, what was that?
Christmas seals.
Jerry, you old softy, you opened with a yuck. I'll have your eye for this.
All right, but I warn you, it's baggy around the knees.
Jerry, I heard you just did a big show for some boys in the hospital.
Ah, yes indeed. What a show. I did acrobatics. And first, I leaned over backwards and picked up a handkerchief with my teeth.
Oh, wonderful.
And for an encore, I picked up my teeth with the handkerchief. Ah, yes, what a chorus we had, with 20 gorgeous girls all dressed in newspapers.
20 gorgeous girls dressed in newspapers?
Yep. Every time they turned around, you could see what happened to Dick Tracy. Of course, the luckiest guy was John B. Hughes with his views behind the news.
Well, Jerry, I suppose the finale was colossal.
Sensational Bing. Just imagine Gypsy Rose Lee dressed in a copy of the Chicago Sun. Oh, I love to see the evening sun go down.
Well, so much for all this stuff, Jerry. I just can't get over my excitement. It's Christmas again. Isn't this a wonderful season?
Well, frankly, this year hasn't thrilled me so much.
No?
I got my hands on something I wanted all my life. A big red drum. Then I just couldn't beat it.
Well, why couldn't you beat it? Don't tell me the old incentive was lacking.
Don't tell me the Christmas spirit was weakening.
Even worse, the store detective was watching.
Colonna, you're just one step removed from a moron.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crowd you. Ah, but Santa, I don't know. This year, even my tree doesn't look good.
Why not?
Because in the summer it turned brown.
Oh,
And I dug up the holly wreath that Jack Benny sent me last year. What a cheap holly wreath. The needles only played 12 records. And my kid brother got arrested for doing his Christmas shopping early.
now, Professor. How would he get arrested for doing his Christmas shopping early?
It was too early. The store wasn't open yet. And I couldn't think of what to get Rita Hayworth, so I walked around and looked in all the windows.
What happened?
Ali Khan came out and said, "Stop looking in our windows." But the worst thing that happened to me was last week when this Crosby character got me a job. A job at a department store.
Well, all this sounds excruciatingly interesting. Tell me more. Yes, tell me more. Please, Jerry. Oh, tell me more.
That'll cost you, Santa. If you say that once more, I'll have to stop twisting your arm. And if you must know, he found me wandering around the mail company.
Well, if it isn't Jerry Colonna. Hiya, Professor.
Hello, Bing.
What's the matter, Jerry? It looks like you've been down to the dumps.
Yeah, you know where your present is coming from.
Jerry, what's bothering you?
Well, frankly, I need more spending money. Dough, moolah, some Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, some of that long green.
Oh,
I just thought of what I wanted to give Linda Donnell this year. A diamond tiara.
a tiara?
Yes, it will go so well with her boombier. Can you lend me 5?
I'm sorry, Jerry, but my money's all tied up in cash. I've got 5, but what I want to do is buy my wife that pressure cooker she wants so much.
Hand it over, son. She doesn't need a cooker when she's got a pot like you. Ah, come on, Bingsington, fork it up.
Now look, Jerry, I've got a better idea. I'll give get you a temporary job. Now, just follow me.
Job? Bingsington, I can't work. I'm delicate. I'm fragile. Aesthetic. I'm lazy.
Look, Professor, it's only for a couple hours, and all you gotta do is play Santa Claus. The regular one's sick today.
Bing, you think I can really fill his shoes?
Well, I don't know about his shoes, but you can certainly fill the throne. Come on, Jerry, hurry up. We'll miss the elevator.
Face the front, please. Mister, don't press your nose so hard against the glass on the door.
I want to case the layout. Don't worry, I won't break the glass.
Second floor, household appliances. Third floor, dry goods. Fourth floor, girls' stockings and ladies' lingerie.
Anyone for Band-Aids?
Fifth floor, Toyland.
Oh, this is for you. This is for us, Jerry. Let us out.
Yes, I've got to see Santa Claus.
Mine? You're a big one, aren't you?
Well, you can tell this is the toy department. The grown-ups are all playing with the toys and the kiddies are standing around crying.
Kelowna, here's your new boss now.
Oh, how do you do, sir? Oh, wait a minute. You're the nasty voiced guy that Jack Benny keeps running into all the time. Are you the manager here?
Well, what do you think I am with this gardenia in my lapel flower pot?
Frank Nelson.
Mr. Kelowna, turn around so I can look you over. That's it. My, isn't he a chubby one?
Say, Mr. Nelson, do you think I'm qualified to take the place of your Santa Claus?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Kelowna. All he ever does is sit around on his big, fat mezzanine. Now, suppose you step into the dressing room here and try on the suit.
Okay, see you later, Bing. See, I'm fast with this stuff. I'll take off my coat and slap red makeup on my face.
Yes.
And now I'll put on the beard like this.
Yes. Why, Professor, that looks grand. Now, that's the makeup you should have on every one of your personal appearances.
But Mr. Nelson, this beard is so big, it covers my entire face.
Yes. Now, how does that suit seem to fit?
Well, I'm having trouble with the stomach. There, that's it, pretty fast, eh?
Yes, but Mr. Kelowna, the stomach's supposed to be in the front. Oh, my mistake. That's you.
Oh, the pants are so baggy.
Yeah, well, Santa, let's get off to work. Come, Kelowna, don't just sit there. Stand up.
Nelson, I am standing up. It's the suit that's sitting.
Never mind. Come along, little man, and I'll lift you up on the throne.
This aisle?
Yes. Oh, aren't we devils? We're walking around in ladies' lingeries.
Hey, wait a minute. These things are pretty. I want to buy one of these for my girl.
Professor, you can't buy one of those.
What?
There, I'll explain it to you later. Well, here's Santa's little corner up ahead. Oh, and look at the eager little kitties. Look who's here, kitties. Oh, my, aren't they charming little cherubs? That one at the front of the line is my little boy, Rover.
Why did you name him Rover?
His mother always wanted a dog. Isn't he cunning?
I'm afraid of him. Does he bite?
Oh, no. Rover never bites.
Then why is he spreading ketchup on my leg?
Well, Santa, you'll excuse me. I've got to consult the store detective. He tells me he caught a beautiful redhead shoplifter, and I can hardly wait to make a pinch. Happy days.
Happy days.
Santa Claus, I'm Snookums Foray. I'm 6 going on 7.
Congratulations. I'm 34 going on Benzedrine. Now, let's get on with the quiz, huh?
Hey, are you really beloved old Santa Claus? The one and only real honest-to-goodness Santa Claus?
Yes.
Why, you dirty no-good rat! What happened to all my loot? Last year you promised me a mink coat, a Cadillac, and a diamond ring. So what do I find in my sock? 3 lousy stinking jelly beans. What happened to the mink coat, the Cadillac, and the diamond ring?
Well, little girl, you don't realize my problems. It's pretty hard to make that iron claw drop in just the right place.
Why don't you go sit in a mousetrap, you big fat piece of cheese?
Your family owns a bathtub.
Yeah, but we never use it. Santa, see these scissors? I'm gonna take a souvenir, a memento, something to identify you by.
Oh, a lock of my wavy mustache?
Mustache, my eye. I'm taking a lock of your nose.
Aye. That's all that did it.
bells. How are you making out?
I'm getting out of here.
Oh, you can't quit so easily, Jerry. Why don't you try your luck with just one more little kid? Try that bright-looking lad.
Well, I'm just an impetuous fool. Come here, bright-looking boy. What's your name?
Walter Tetley, and I'm 12 years old and I went to Hollywood High.
Walter Tetley, huh? You went to Hollywood High?
Yeah, that's where I got expelled. Make this fast, Buster. I gotta get over to UCLA to pick up my MA.
Your Master of Arts degree?
No, my mom. She's looked in the sorority house. Come on, Buster, come on. Why a third degree? Where's your warrant? What's the rep?
Bright-looking boy, you don't understand. I'm Santa Claus.
Santa who?
Santa Claus. Look, this time of year, who goes flying through the air faster than the speed of sound, whizzing past the chimneys and the red lights, zooming over rooftops?
A California driver.
Now look, kid, you must have some practical idea of what you want.
Well, hey, I got it. I gotta have a blowtorch.
A blowtorch? Son, why would you want a blowtorch?
All my life, I wanted to burn down Monty Woolley. Why? What would you like to give me?
You mean besides a shot in the head? Let's see. I just had an idea. Now, what was it? Oh, yes, I got it right in the back of my head.
Good for you, Buster. You got it cornered.
Now I remember. Got it right here. Here you are, son. The perfect tribute. It's an incense burner and a mirror.
Hey, what do I do with an incense burner?
You burn punk in it.
Yeah? Where do I find the punk?
That's where the mirror comes in. Now shove off, kids. Scram. Button your colors. Get lost.
Ah, simmer down, egghead.
Egghead, please. My features are finely chiseled.
Yeah, your parents got cheated too.
Son, you're exciting me.
Pull up your pants. Your pot is boiling over.
Child, right-eyed moron.
Why don't you file off that point on your head? I don't think you should be permitted to have anything sharp.
Nelson, I can't take this. This kid is getting me down. He's knocking me out. What will I do?
Hey, while you're down there, why don't you smoke a Lucky and feel your level best?
Yeah, Big, would it be all right if I smoked?
Smoked? It'd be funny if you didn't. I just set fire to your pants.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, Gene Autry, leave us now Terry here. What's next on the agenda?
Well, I think right now we ought to have just a little encore from the young ladies who helped us out on that Santa Claus number a while ago. You know the old saying, as two's company, three is the Andrews sisters.
Now, how you doing since you got back from abroad, gals?
So,
So you got that arrangement of Jingle Bells we worked on today?
yeah.
Well, wait for me, wait for Daddy. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun it is to ride and sing in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, just jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Da-da-da-da-da. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, and we're laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun to ride and sing our sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Oh, we have a lot of fun. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells,
some people get too excited. They practically go out of their minds. For instance, you take my friends, Bert and Gert.
Bert and Gert?
Yes, known to some people as Linda Darnell and Groucho Marx.
As the story opens, we're in the living room of the Hoopendykster home. Gert, that's Linda Darnell, seems preoccupied as she sits there knitting. Bert sits there reading the evening paper. The moment is tense. Suddenly, Gert speaks.
Oh, Bert. Bert. Bert.
What did you say?
I said Bert. Bert.
Who are you?
I'm your wife, Bert.
Oh, any relation to my wife, Gert? I wonder if you know Bert Hoopendykster.
I'm his wife.
Well, leave your name and address and we'll let you know if anything turns up. I know your husband. Great man, Bert.
Oh, Bert. You're Bert Hoopendykster and I'm Gertrude, your wife.
Merry Christmas. May I call you Gertrude?
Oh, Bert, there's something I must talk to you about. You see, Christmas is almost here, and, well, you haven't bought a present yet for our daughter.
Daughter? Whose daughter?
Our daughter. Your daughter, my daughter, our daughter.
Things are tight. I can't buy presents for all of them.
No, Bert, there's only one daughter. Our daughter, yours and mine, Bert and Gert's.
Then let them get her a present. What's the girl's name?
Olive.
Olive? Who's Olive?
Our daughter, Bert.
I thought you said her name was Olive.
Oh, Bert, you're going to drive me to distraction.
Okay, but you'll have to put some gas in the car.
You've completely forgotten Christmas. And Olive. Bert, if you don't go out and get her a Christmas present, Olive's threatened to work in a coal mine.
What? Our Olive? In the pits?
She's been eating her heart out. Oh, Bert, what if our Olive dies?
Well, we could have his stuff.
Bert, why don't you get her some alligator shoes?
Nothing doing. Why should I buy shoes for her pets?
Oh, Bert, Olive just ran upstairs threatening to do something drastic. Oh, what was that? What was that?
That was Johnny stepping out of store windows all over the country. Ah, well. Merry Christmas, Linda.
Merry Christmas, Groucho.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Linda Darnell and Groucho. And Linda, I understand that you have a special message you'd like to say to the troops.
Thanks, Ken. And Christmas greetings, fellas. It's been customary during the last few years to try and answer those swell letters you write to us on command performance, and I wouldn't want to break an old custom. So, to the officers' mess at the RNAV station in Wapakura, New Zealand. And there's an Irish girl named Frances Bailey at the area ministry in London who speaks pretty highly of you American boys, particularly one of you at 528. Hello to Joe and Boots and the 8-Ballers gang in 948, including Sam, Mike, Joe, and Piper. And to Private Vera Alpha Ray and 14 ATS girls in the military hospital in North Wales. And I don't mean working there either. They're casualties. This only hits a few spots from the mail route, but to the many of you we've learned to know by your handwriting and your APO numbers, may the new year bring you all home safely.
Now, let us follow Santa Claus as he merrily wends his way through the clouds, swerving this way and that to avoid the Sky Raiders, who are up there singing Vaughn Monroe songs. Santa's on his way to deliver Christmas cheer.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. If I don't stop hearing those jingle bells, I'm going to go nuts someday. Whoa! Whoa, Dancer! Whoa, Prancer! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Patty, Maxine, Laverne!
And Santa sees a lovely chimney, looks at it, and says,
Must be a beautiful gal living here.
He looks down the chimney and sees Anne Southern.
Oh. This chimney isn't the only thing that's well stacked. Well, here I go.
Oh!
That's surprising. Don't be frightened. It's only me, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, you're a wolf too.
Oh, you know, it's so nice to meet such a promising young star.
Thank you, Santa. But you can turn off that gleam in your eye. I'm not promising you anything. And by the way, you're just the man I want to see.
Oh?
I'm a little disappointed with that alarm clock you gave me last Christmas.
That was a very good alarm clock. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? I'll show you. Listen. to give people so that you break even, you know.
I know you're only kidding. You're really a very generous girl. I watched you last year, you know. There you were, tying your presents on the tree. First you tied up a present for your mother, then you tied up presents for your sisters, then you tied up presents for your family.
And then those two good-looking soldiers came to dinner.
Yes, and then your family had to tie you up.
Santa Claus, you peeping Tom. But I really think you are adorable. I love everything about you and about Christmas. Gosh, you know, a girl can always tell when it's getting near Christmas around here.
Really? How?
All the majors are wearing mistletoe instead of oak leaves.
Yes, and a lot of the soldiers get to come home and see their girls around Christmas time, too.
Oh, no, not all of them. Some of the boys refuse their furlough.
Refuse their Christmas furlough? Why?
Well, they just don't want their sergeant to get lonesome.
Oh, well, Anne, it's been wonderful visiting here with you. I must be on my way now. I've got to put in an appearance in lots more places. What time is it anyway?
Oh, just a minute. I'll look at my clock. It's still 2 minutes slow.
Now, Santa!
Yes, Ken.
Santa! You know there's just lots of nice things strung out on Command Christmas Tree. But there's one thing missing.
Oh, what's that?
I'd like to hear a good old-fashioned Christmas story.
Well, gee, Ken, I don't know one. But here are a couple of boys who do. It's those old-time favorites, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, hi, Bergen.
Yes, well, here we are again, Charlie.
Yeah, so what?
I must say that I'm a little shocked at your attitude.
Why?
Why, at this season of the year, everybody's happy.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's on their best behavior because it's close to Christmas.
Yeah, sure. I was on my best behavior last year. What did I get? Nothing. Yeah, I was so good.
Well, if I remember correctly, Charlie, Santa Claus put something in your stocking last year.
Well, he didn't stretch him out of shape, I'll tell you that much. He didn't need a reindeer to deliver him. What I got, he could have slipped under the door.
Oh, please.
A swallow could have dropped it off on its way to Capistrano.
Yes, well, perhaps you're expecting too much.
Well, all I asked for was a motorcycle, a speedboat, and a rifle. What did I get? Stockings, woolen underwear, and a due bill for some dental work.
Yes.
You know what I think, Bergen?
What?
You mailed my Christmas list? You didn't mail that. You mailed the laundry list.
Is that so? Well, I investigated that, Charlie, and I found out.
Yes?
Santa Claus was afraid to come down our narrow chimney.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
Claustrophobia?
Yes. You've heard of Santa claustrophobia, haven't you?
Oh, what are you griping about? I gotta live with them.
All right.
Bergen, you laid in it, you lie in it. Isn't it enough that I hate you? Do I have to be ashamed of you besides?
All right. Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that you're going to get some pretty nice presents this year. That is, providing...
I knew there was a catch in it.
Providing that you've memorized your piece the night before Christmas.
Yes.
And of course I know you have. And so I'm going to introduce you to this audience.
Uh-huh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear that famous classic, The Night Before Christmas, by Clement Clark Moore.
I bet if he wouldn't have written it if he had to memorize it.
Yes, now go on ahead.
Yeah. I could recite better from memory if I had the book in front of me.
No, you're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, my children, and you shall hear of the Midnight Ride of Santa Revere.
No.
I got off to a bad start.
Yes.
Under the spreading Christmas tree, The village Santa stands?
No.
Did he go?
Yes, perhaps I better start you off. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house.
Gad Bergen, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yes,
And I'm glad to get rid of them.
yes. Now, what's the next line?
Christmas before the house, Christmas all through the house. What's the next line?
No, no. Not a creature was stirring, not even a louse. No, no. The stockings were hung. Where?
On a nail?
No, no. By the chimney with care. In hopes,
The laundryman soon would be there.
in hopes that Saint who?
St. Vitus?
No,
St. Bernard?
no,
St. Paul?
No.
Minneapolis?
no.
I'm on the wrong track here.
Yes. You don't know.
No, I hate myself for not knowing. Just hate myself.
In hopes that Saint Nicholas soon would be there.
Semicolon.
That's fine. The children were all nestled snug in their bed.
Shoot if you must, this old gray head.
Surely you know the part about Santa Claus as he rides through the sky.
Oh, yeah. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease. The jolly fat man in the red BVDs.
No, the next line is, but out on the lawn there arose such a clatter.
What'd you do?
I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter.
Oh, yeah. I tore open the shutters and threw up. Threw up the sash.
What about the reindeer? What are the reindeer's names?
Oh, let's see. The reindeers. Oh, darn it. What is it now?
Dancer and Prancer.
And dandruff and blintzes.
No, no.
Donner and lightning.
No. Donner.
Oh, yeah. Donner Amici. I didn't know he made the team.
Now, wait a minute. Yes, I'm Dancer, I'm Prancer.
And what do you know? Prancer came in, paid $22 to show. The end. Give me the present.
No, Charlie, I don't believe you know the poem at all. I don't believe you studied it, have you?
No, sir, I haven't.
Well, as much as you were honest about it, I'm going to give you this lovely present anyway.
Oh, thank you. Bless you, bless you. What is it?
Well, it's a beautifully illustrated copy of the famous poem The Night Before Christmas.
Is that the present? Is that what I get?
That's what you get.
Bergen, this is Christmas, not April Fools.
All right, all right.
Thanks a lot, Edward Bergen. And performance takes you down to Washington, D.C. for a Christmas message from Secretary of War Henry L. Stimson.
In the midst of war, the coming of Christmas has a very deep and special significance. Christmas becomes the symbol of hope for our nation and its people. Irresistibly, our thoughts turn to the men and women in uniform who will spend this Christian holy day far from their homes, many of them on the field of battle itself, striving to bring about the victory which will realize this Christian hope of a future peace. These thoughts are in my mind as I send you my greetings. Whenever and wherever you are stationed, I know you are performing with soldierly devotion the duty to which you have been assigned. And at this Christmas season, I wish to express to you my profound appreciation of your fidelity and achievements. You've accepted the hardship and sacrifice with a rugged fortitude which recognizes that these are the necessary price of victory. Your heroic deeds have been an inspiration to millions of your countrymen. To the love which your families and friends hold for you have been added the gratitude of the nation. In this spirit, I send you my greetings. Throughout America, the light of Christmas burns brightly in remembrance of you and in prayers for your return. God grant that your hands may be strengthened to hasten the day of final victory. Upon you and your comrades in arms, the world depends for the restoration of Christmas Day as a symbol of peace on earth.
On this command performance, we take a little bit of the heart of every town and city in America and pass it on to you. This will be State Street in Chicago, where a loudspeaker full of Christmas carols fights the noise of traffic. And this will be the little towns up north, where the night is cold and still, and you can smell wood smoke and pine trees and hear a baby crying 2 blocks away. And this will be a ranch house in Wyoming, and a coal miner shack in West Virginia, an apartment on Nob Hill in San Francisco, and a trailer camp in California, a cathedral in New York. hours of Christmas are quiet and peaceful, but they ring louder than the guns of war. They've outlived old men. They stay with the living and go along with the dead. They're endless. America is singing of Christmas, and Command Performance brings you home the carols you've always loved. Francis Langford and Ginny Sims and Dinah Shore are at the mic with the Ken Darby Singers, especially for you.
There's a little red brick church in your hometown, and the white snow lies deeply around it, and the trees are bare, but the sun is bright, and it kicked up little diamond flashes in the snow. Inside, the grown-ups and the kids are gathered for Christmas service. Mosaic windows let sunlight rainbows through to fall on the congregation. Francis, will you do a bit of the carol they might be singing? Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord. Jimmy, a lot of the fellows all over the world have memories of bright Christmas mornings in that same little church, of scrubbed faces and shining eyes with excitement of new toys. And that's something that's in the air every Christmas morning. And in memory of all that, won't you do a bit of Hark the Angels Sing? Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. In lovely cathedrals throughout the land, you can hear them singing the song of peace-loving people of the United Nations who have no fear of the evil they are pledged to crush. For we are a nation who find eternal strength, and that eternal moment heralded by the carol that Dinah is singing for you now. Oh, little town of Bethlehem,
We know Christmas has many memories. Little fir trees and scenes of dime store lights that get all tangled up and you can never find the one bulb that's gone out. And even the happiest Christmas has a bit of tears and sadness too. But everything Christmas has always meant to us, and will always mean to us, is wrapped up in silent night. We three girls don't mind admitting from the very bottom of our hearts that it makes the little shivers stand out on our arms to have the honor of joining with the many voices of the Ken Darby Singers and this big Air Force Orchestra in the carol that we hope to be singing with you next year at this time.
Christmas shows us where peace and goodwill can be found. It lies in the faith and innocence of children, untouched by selfishness or prejudice. If the quest is to be completed, if the goal is to be reached, let us consider the example set by the children in the world, for the only international understanding today belongs to children and to Christmas.
Well, that's it, buddy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us over here. God bless all of you over there.
This is Ken Carpenter, thanking the many members of the American entertainment industry who have joined together in the spirit of Christmas to present this special holiday edition of Command Performance. Command Performance is arranged in cooperation with the Hollywood Victory Committee and a proud member of the men and women of the Armed Forces of the United Nations by the War Department of the United States of America.
Being such a wonderful audience, and we hope that you had a great time celebrating the holidays with us, with our armed forces, and with some of the best of Command Performance Christmas. Well, we're well into our 9th season, and we've got another wonderful show already lined up and ready to bring you back here at the Oak Park Arms on Sunday, February 13th. It's coming around Oscar time again, and so we're celebrating the movies by bringing you 2 special comedic episodes celebrating the rugged men in movies, starring Jack Benny and George Burns. Yeah, I know, I'm having a hard time picturing it too. So, in order to figure out what that's all about and how that works, you're going to have to be here on Sunday, February 13th, right here at 2 o'clock. And now, for the thrilling cast, we're thrilling today, for the cast of those thrilling days of yesteryear, playing Ken Carpenter, Frank Nelson, Steve Schroeder. Covering the roles of Ann Southern, Patty, and Francis Langford, Joy Kenyon. The lovely and adorable Santa Claus, played by Lars Tumba. Bing Crosby was crooned on the radio by Don Giggle. Jerry Colonna and Groucho were covered by Craig Gustafson. Where his wife, Gert, was also played by Marty Gustafson. The roles of Maxine, the elevator operator, and Jenny Sims, Amy Kennedy. And our Sounds from Home announcer and our Secretary of War, John Gould. Evan Cater.
fellows Laverne Snookums Foray and Dinah Shore Pam Turlow. And let us also thank our special guest, the Air Force Orchestra, Peter Storms. Not cheaper than a full-scale orchestra, I can tell you. And I'm your director, also playing Gene Autry and Walter Tetley, Ben Dooley. Of course, we'd like to thank you, the audience, for helping our show to come alive and for living those thrilling days of yesteryear so that we have the honor of bringing them back to you.